Well, hello to all you nice people out there, and welcome back to another exciting video on our channel, where we will only talk about our pure love for gaming. I know it's not the Joker, just me, I know, so sad. Anyways, the PS5 is a legend in the gaming world, and I bet I don't need any evidence to convince you. It'd be like saying, do you need air to breathe? Of course you do. And if you're a real gamer, then you need the PS5 to survive in this world full of boring games and mediocre consoles. But here's the real question. Is it worth upgrading if you already own a PS5? This is what we need to discuss. Because since the PS5 Slim has been released, there's been a lot of buzz about it. Some say it's more redefined, better, and cooler than the original console, while some argue that it's just a fancy name for the same thing. If you still find yourself torn between these options in 2024, then allow me to separate fact from fiction and shed some light on the matter. Today's video is going to be very interesting, and I promise you by the end of it, you'll have a clear picture of the difference between the two systems, and hopefully this will help you with choosing if you should upgrade or if not, because you're already a PS5 owner. Now we're going to dive into the nitty-gritty details of both consoles and compare them head-to-head. From design to the specs to the gameplay experience, we will leave no stone unturned. So fasten your metaphorical seatbelts and grab a snack, because it's going to be a bumpy ride. First things first, let's talk about this thing. The size. I think it's safe to say that the original PS5 is like a gargantuan behemoth in its own right. It's like, have you seen how massive that thing is? It's a skyscraper in your living room. Okay, maybe not that big, but close enough. Whereas on the other hand, we have the Slim version. It's like the original PS5 did P90X and lost some weight, and now it's sleeker, slimmer, and more compact. There are two versions of the PS5 Slim, just like the original, one with a disc drive and a discless digital edition. And what I love most about the disc drive is that it can easily be removed, which I think is actually not available in the original console, and that's a pretty big deal. In terms of design, the PS5 Slim has a similar futuristic look, but it's more redefined and less flashy. It still has that signature black and white color scheme, but the Slim version has more of a subtle approach to it. But when it comes to weight, well, let's just say you could easily carry the PS5 Slim around without spraining your back. According to Sony, the Slim version is lighter than previous models, which is always nice in my book. The 30% reduction in size and 18% decrease in weight makes it a more appealing option, especially for those who have limited space in their gaming setup. If you're one of those people who only like sexier, sleeker things in life, then you should definitely consider the PS5 Slim. However, if you're someone who loves bulk and mass and some heft, then maybe the original console should be for you. Just be sure to hit the gym before lifting it. Well, maybe not that extreme, but you get the idea, it's pretty big. Anyways, overall, both consoles have their own striking designs and appeal, so it's a matter of personal taste that decides the champ in this category. But let's not judge a book by its cover, shall we? It's what inside is what truly matters. I know, it's the soul of the game. Talking cheesy. I sound like a motivational speaker. Haha, I should get paid to do this. I'm just trying to make a point here. Let's talk about the specs, and I'll be 100% honest with you. Both consoles are pretty similar when it comes to specs. Looks like Sony took a look at the original PS5 and said, you know what, make it smaller and keep everything the same. And that's what they did. The Slim version also has an 8-core AMD Zen 2 processor, 16 gigs of GDDR6 RAM, GWDR6 RAM, and a custom RDNA 2 GPU, just like the original PS5. So performance-wise, there is no difference. They both support 4K resolution at 60 frames per second and can go up to 120 frames per second. And they also have this fancy feature called ray tracing, which makes the graphics look even more realistic, and trust me, it's like seeing the world through a new pair of eyeballs. But as they say, the devil is in the details, which is one of those little details. And that little detail is storage. The original PS5 comes with 825 gigabytes of internal storage, which is quite nice and can hold a good number of games. You can also expand the storage with an NVMe SSD slot to add more games and data. However, the PS5 Slim has one-upped the original console in this department as well. It comes with a 1TB custom NVMe SSD, which means more space for you and your favorite games.
Well, I can't say that I'm a math genius, but 175 gigabytes is a significant difference.
And when it comes to gaming, every gigabyte counts. Trust me, I learned this the hard way. Plus, you can also attach an external HDD for both consoles to expand your storage further. If you ask me, except for the storage capacity, there isn't much difference in terms of specs. So it really doesn't matter which one you choose, as the experience will be pretty much the same on both consoles. And I think Sony did a great job in keeping the specs consistent for both the original and Slim versions. After all, why fix something that isn't broke? Now let's move on to the port. This might not seem like a big deal to some people, but for moi, it's indispensable. It's like the bloodline of any device. And here we have a slight difference between the two consoles. The original PS5 has one USB Type-A and one USB Type-C port in the front to connect your controllers and other devices. The Slim version, on the other hand, has two USB Type-C ports. The power! This might not seem like a big deal, but it can make a difference for some people. I personally prefer the USB Type-A port because it's more universal and compatible with most devices. Just saying. But if you're all about new and fancy, then the USB Type-C might be the thing for you. Oh, Oh, and another small difference is the presence of power and eject buttons on the original PS5, while the Slim version only has a power button, and this is because the disk drive on the Slim version is removable, so there's no need for an eject button. But don't worry, you can still easily eject discs by opening the bottom half of the console, and trust me, you could do it with your eyes closed. You know what, I'm trying it right now. Actually, no, maybe try with your eyes open, because it's a lot harder than it looks. Anyways, in my opinion, both of them are equally convenient to use, so it's just a matter of personal preference. I wouldn't be surprised if Sony decides to do more ports or change the design in future versions of the PS5 Pro, or maybe they'll come out with the PS5 Double Slim Pro. Who knows? They're always looking for ways to improve and innovate their products, but for now, let's appreciate the simplicity and functionality of both consoles. They may look different on the outside, but they sure have a lot in common on the inside. Wow, that's real deep. If you ask any gamer about their biggest concern while playing, they will probably say overheating. That's a big problem with most gaming consoles and even some PCs, but Sony is taking great strides in making sure the PS5 doesn't suffer from this issue. The PS5's original version has an elaborate cooling system that uses liquid metal as its thermal interface material. Now I know that's a bit too technical, but what it does do is that it ensures long-term cooling performance. Plus, the system has a large 120mm fan that draws air in from both sides, so the console doesn't heat up quickly. But with the Slim version, Sony had to redesign the cooling system as well as the motherboard, and they did it quite well. The PS5 Slim's new cooling system has 5 heat pipes instead of 4 and a smaller backplate, but still manages to sustain high performance while keeping the noise levels low. 33.6 dBA as a matter of fact, which is pretty darn good. That's even better than 33.8 in comparison to the original version. So even though the Slim version is smaller and more compact, it doesn't compromise on cooling and noise levels. Both versions of the PS5 have excellent thermal management, so you won't have to worry about overheating or other issues. But you know, how can we talk about the PS5 and not mention its performance and gameplay? After all, that's what we buy gaming consoles for, right? Now, as I said before, the original and Slim versions of the PS5 have almost identical specs, so it's no surprise that the performance and gameplay are also similar. But both consoles can handle graphic-intensive games with ease, thanks to the powerful AMD graphics processor and custom CPU. This means you can enjoy games in 4K resolution at high frame rates without any lag or stuttering. Plus, with the addition of ray tracing technology, just imagine the level of detail and immersion you can experience in the games. Like whether you're playing open world games like Red Dead Redemption 2 or fast-paced first-person shooters like Call of Duty, both versions of the PS5 deliver seamless and smooth gameplay. While some people may argue that the Slim version gives slightly better detail and faster loading times, that's like such a minor difference that's not even a thing to talk about. In my view, both consoles are great when it comes to performance and gameplay. But do both PS5 versions require an internet connection to pair the disc drive? Well, the answer is no. The original version of the PS5 does not require an internet connection for this step, as it has a built-in disc drive that doesn't need to be paired. You can simply insert a game disc and start playing without any verification process. But for the Slim version, an internet connection is necessary to verify and pair the detachable disc drive. The reason behind this is I don't know. If you ask me, it's most likely to prevent piracy and ensure the use of official drives. So in the end, if you don't have access to the internet, maybe just stick with the original PS5. But if you're okay with this minor inconvenience and have a reliable internet connection, then the PS5 Slim is definitely worth considering. But really think about it, because you don't want to buy it now and then later start crying like a baby, okay? Don't take it personally. I'm just trying to let you know. Anyways, let's talk about the price now, which I'm sure most of you are eager to know. Sony's made some interesting calls regarding the pricing of the PS5 Slim. The disc version of the Slim is priced at $499, the same as the standard edition of the PS5. However, the digital-only version is similarly priced at $449.99. So the standard edition is more than the original standard PS5. I think this price change is due to the added cost of the detachable disc drive, which costs $79.99 separately. So in reality, if you want a Slim version with the disc drive, it's gonna cost you a little more green than just getting the standard PS5 with a built-in disc drive. So is it worth it? Well, it entirely depends on your personal preference, budget, and needs. My conclusion is that if you don't have much space and prefer a sleek design, and maybe don't mind paying a little bit extra for the detachable disc drive, then yeah, go for the Slim version. But if you want the traditional console design and don't want to pay extra for a disc drive, then stick with the original version. If you don't mind the digital edition, you could pick it up for $450. In my opinion, I would just wait for the release of the PS5 Pro, which is being released sometime this year. In any case, both versions of the PS5 are groundbreaking in their own ways and offer an unparalleled gaming experience. Whether you choose the original or the Slim version, you can't go wrong with either one. Just saying. Anyways, I hope this comparison has helped you make a wise decision in your quest for the perfect gaming console, which as we know is never a thing because they always make new versions. But anyways, if you think I've missed out on any crucial points or have any other insights, please let me know down in the comments below. I love talking with you guys. And yeah, there we go. As I always say, if you like this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel for more exciting gaming content.